Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 110 based on novel. So let's start. Huyang City, the quiet room of the City Lord's mansion, inside the Star Tower. An endlessly majestic and huge Luo Feng's body is sitting cross-legged. Since the soul and will surpass the limit of the God King, the world's life forms have begun to grow again. Things like the perfect divine body and the demon-destroying clones all have growth limits. But the world life form is very special. As long as Luo Feng's consciousness can control it, he can continue to improve. Nowadays, this worldly life form is still growing, and it has not reached the limit of the soul and will. Finally realized the 24 phases. Breakthrough. Luo Feng has been waiting for this day for too long. After clearly breaking through his mind and will, he is sure to kill the leader of the Food Kingdom. But Luo Feng has been enduring it. It was because of killing the 3 kings of the Food Kingdom that one day he exposed himself. At that time, he had no confidence that he would survive being surrounded by some emperor-level beings. For example, the 3 groups of D Yang, D11, and D Wu. They had many treasures, and when united, their deterrent power was even more terrifying than D Ming. Before, Luo Feng, who only had an advantage in mental will, truly had no confidence in resisting those 3. So he patiently waited, until this very moment. Condensation. Luo Feng's huge body of world life form stretched out his palm at this moment, and the most basic structure of a wisp of world power changed, from the simple, 10-direction world form to the 24-phase form. Each life unit in the 10 directions world form only needs 10 particles to form a miniature world of its own. Each of the 24-phase forms requires a full 240 particles for each life unit to form a perfect combination of 24 spaces. The stability is increased countless times. It is a complete qualitative change. Beautiful. When a life unit condensed in his palm, Luo Feng smiled and began to increase the proportion. Luo Feng's huge souls and powerful spiritual will make the transformation very efficient. Only this time, Luo Feng's world life form energy reserve is too huge. Luo Feng tried his best to transform, but it still took 32 days to successfully transform this world's life form. The clones scattered in the Dream Realm, Tianzhu Realm, Chudu, Xiangjie City and other places have also quietly transformed. The energy reserves of those clones are very small, and the transformation is much faster. Successful. Luo Feng stood up on the first floor of the Star Tower. I feel that after the transformation of the life form, it is easier to control the physical body. Luo Feng could feel that the world life form in the previous 10 directions world form was loose. The world's life forms in the form of 24 phases have much closer life units and are easier to control. The explosive power can be very strong. It's like a 200-pound fat man on Earth who can't even walk without breathing. But a 200-pound athlete is all muscle, looks thin, and has threshold moves for speed and strength. The energy reserve of the previous world's life form is about 29 times that of the perfect divine body. With my spiritual will, it is a little difficult to control, but I can use the second level of the God King. The energy reserve of the current 24-phase form remains unchanged, and it is easy to control. I can even easily perform my strongest mass extinction style. This body can also grow significantly. Luo Feng's body surface naturally formed a black robe, and the robe was still formed in the shape of the 24 phases. Boom! When Luo Feng released his breath slightly, the surrounding void began to collapse, and the layers of space naturally collapsed until the membrane wall of the source world remained. The rules of the surrounding world will naturally change. What a powerful force! I feel that my physical body should be no less than master. Luo Feng had seen Master Di Chu and Di Xian with his own eyes. In terms of artistic conception, my current life form in the world is worse than Master and others, and I don't have that sense of ultimate perfection. But the life forms in our own world are too huge. The quantitative advantage is enough to make up for part of the qualitative gap. Finally touched the level of Emperor. Luo Feng sighed secretly. He was too weak before. One move from the emperors could turn him into powder, and even with his health recovery power, he can only resist one or two more moves in the past. The lotus of life is also growing. Luo Feng observed the world inside the body. Because the world inside the body has expanded thousands of times, the lotus of life can naturally continue to grow. It also improves the stability of the inner world and the vitality of the physical body. My world's life body improves, and the world inside my body grows stronger. In this way, the eternal light of the Hun cave can be nurtured, and it can also become stronger. Luo Feng's heart is full of joy at this moment. The black robe spread out and turned into an endless black river. The black river is mighty and powerful, sweeping in all directions. Every drop of river water is a unit of 24 phases, and its binding force and power are much stronger. There is no exact form of life forms in the world. I can be in human form, animal form, or even a river or a star. Luo Feng knew this very well. It can take any form as long as it is composed of basic life units. With such strength, combined with Star Tower, Origin Continent, how many of them can be my opponents? Luo Feng suddenly became a little confused. Calm down. Old. Step by step. Having just mastered the 24 forms of world life form, Luo Feng gradually became familiar with the various abilities of this physical body according to the special inheritance description, and also thought about how to use many combat methods. The Thunder Ancient Kingdom. After Luo Feng publicly reached the second level of the God King realm, Zhuoshanku also quietly broke through to the God King level. However, the fact that he had become a God King by cultivating the bloodline of the primordial source did not cause any disturbance on the Origin Continent, which left Zhuoshanku quite troubled on his throne. Luo Feng has become the second sub-realm of the God King, and his strength should be much stronger than that of the Lord Qiankun. But it is still extremely difficult to kill him completely and prevent him from being reincarnated. Zishan, according to my understanding, even if the emperor or monarch takes action, Lord Qiankun should be able to withstand one or two attacks and have time to reincarnate. Of the three kings of the Shigua, the one whom Zhuoshanku hates the most is the king of Qiankun. Without the leader of Qiankun, the other two rulers of the Food Kingdom would not have been able to destroy his kingdom. Luo Feng only has one chance to take action. Once Lord Qiankun is reincarnated, he will definitely hide his identity and will not be exposed again. I don't know how long it will take until Luo Feng grows up, so that Lord Qiankun cannot be reincarnated. Although Mountain Guest is very patient, he has been waiting for that day to come. He reassured Luo Feng not to worry. But he himself was thinking about that day, and this obsession had already penetrated deep into his soul. The Mountain Guest closed his eyes and began to study and practice again, exploring the Han Yuan bloodline in his body. He could only temporarily forget his hatred by immersing himself in practice. Because once he stopped practicing, he would always think of hatred and the figures that haunted him. Teacher? Suddenly a voice came through the cause and effect. Huh? The Mountain Guest was startled, stopped practicing, and responded with a smile. Luo Feng, what's the matter? You come to Huyang City to kill the three kings of the Shigua Kingdom. You can take action now. This message transmitted through the cause and effect seemed to bombard the soul of the Mountain Guest. At this moment, his soul was trembling. Can you take action now? As a God King, sitting Mountain Guest took 3 breaths of time to fully regain his senses. But at this moment, he seemed to have taken the most precious treasure, and his soul was in an unprecedented state of excitement. The speed of thinking is skyrocketing, and the mind and will are condensed like never before. I'm here. The Mountain Guest responded quietly, and then immediately left the cave and went straight to Huyang City quietly. In the past, master-disciple meetings were usually held in Xiangjie City, because it is very close to Thunder Ancient Kingdom. But this time, the Mountain Guest crossed most of the continent of origin and quietly arrived at Huyang City. The Mountain Guest quietly entered the city lord's mansion. He immediately saw Luo Feng sitting on the high pavilion and flew over immediately. Luo Feng's world power has long enveloped hundreds of millions of kilometers around Huyang City. As for the city lord's palace, it is even more enveloped by Luo Feng's mind and will. No strong person on the origin continent can even think of breaking through Luo Feng's world realm and mind to peer into this place. This spiritual will. The mountain guest felt the spiritual will surrounding Luo Feng. It was a spiritual will that frightened him. It was as vast as the sea and seemed to be able to annihilate him in an instant. Teacher? Luo Feng, who was dressed in black, looked at him with a smile. This black-robed Luo Feng is the real body of the world's life form with 24 phases. This operation is of great significance to teachers Washanku, so Luo Feng will naturally go all out to avoid any accidents. Luo Feng. Sitting mountain guest looked at his disciple. The invisible aura his disciple brought to him felt no less than that of the monarch of the Thunder Ancient Kingdom. Teacher, sit down, Luo Feng said. The mountain guest sat down, and Luo Feng just took his seat. You sent me a message before, saying that you can kill the 3 kings of the Food Kingdom. Sitting mountain guest looked at Luo Feng. This matter cannot be rushed. Once you do it, you must be able to kill them completely. Once you let them reincarnate and escape, then there's no way to find them again. I am sure that they will not be able to reincarnate. Luo Feng said. Even Lord Qiankun can't be reincarnated? Mountain guest asked again. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. The mountain guest suppressed his excitement and carefully considered various possibilities, and then said, Why did you do this? Is it a powerful secret treasure? With the ability of the 2 ancient countries to explore the past and future and deduce the secrets of the heavens, if it is discovered that you are the one who took action, wouldn't they attack you because of the secret treasure? When I do it, I will change my appearance, change my breath, and blur cause and effect. Luo Feng said. Even if they investigate the past, they can only find out the identity I am still pretending to be. As for deducing the secrets, even if my identity is exposed, I will do it. So be ready. Why wait for this day? Just waiting for myself to be more powerful than the Lord of the Mother River and the Queen of the Wind City. The 5 of them can live well under the threat of the 2 ancient countries, and Luo Feng is confident. Are you ready? Sitting mountain guest looked at Luo Feng. Although I really want revenge, the dead will eventually die, and the living are more important. You are the one I watch as a grown-up. Disciples who have grown up, we still have enough time, we can still wait. No matter how anxious he is, he can still endure it. Teacher, I won't use any secret treasure this time. Luo Feng said. Can you kill the 3 kings of the Food Kingdom without a secret treasure? Sitting mountain guest looked at his disciple. Yeah. Luo Feng nodded. At this moment, Mountain Rider realized that his disciple's strength was already more terrifying than that of normal emperors and monarchs. Okay. Mountain Guest's eyes seemed to be on fire at this moment. Since he was well prepared, let's take action. Teacher, there are 5 god kings in the Food Kingdom now. Luo Feng looked at the hermit. We only need to kill 3? The hermit nodded. The only ones who have blood feuds with me are the 3 earliest kings, King Qiankun, Ancestor Wuxiang, and Ancestor Daomo. Killing the 3 of them will be enough for me. Luo Feng nodded. The 3 early rulers of the Food Kingdom had the deepest friendship. Lord Qiankun was still in the first level of the God King, so they ventured into the origin continent together. The 3 of them were also guilty of heinous crimes. On the contrary, the sins of the 2 later generations were much lighter. The Skull-Peak God King is skilled in the path of the essence of life and is adept at the art of duplication, allowing him to handle many tasks. He was invited to join by the Lord of Qiankun Kingdom. He is a type of person who works hard without complaint, exchanging his efforts for some resources. God King Liu is very similar to Mountain Guest. She was once the leader of a small marginal country, the Liu Kingdom. As the Food Kingdom invaded the surrounding areas, when it approached the Liu Kingdom, the Lord of the Liu Kingdom took the initiative to defect to the kingdom before the Food Kingdom could take action. It also gave Shiguo no reason to take action. She is also the most inconspicuous and has the lowest status among the 5 god kings of the Food Kingdom, but at least she has preserved her ethnic group. Do you want to talk to them before killing them? Luo Feng asked again. No need. Sitting mountain guest shook his head. There is nothing to say to them. The more you talk, the easier it is to have an accident. I just want them to die completely. Luo Feng nodded and stood up. Then let's set off now. Be sure to be well prepared and try to prevent the two ancient countries from discovering your identity. The mountain guest stood up and reminded. Don't worry. Luo Feng's black robe spread over his body, a golden mask appeared on his face, and his hair became much longer. His aura became dark and deep, but it also carried great terror. It is precisely the invisible and formless imitation as much as possible dream memory of that huge eye. Luo Feng studied that huge eye very deeply, and even used this as a direction to create great extinction. Although the artistic conception imitated now is much worse than the dream memory, it still makes the mountain rider on the side instinctively fear. Just like low-level creatures, they are instinctively afraid when they encounter creatures at a higher dimensional life level. I look like this, not many people can guess my identity. Luo Feng smiled. Your aura is even more terrifying than your real body. Mountain guest couldn't help but said, I have seen the monarchs of the Thunder Ancient Kingdom. They cultivated the Hunyuan bloodline, and their auras are extremely terrifying. But they don't seem to be as good as you. Luo Feng smiled. His true body and aura are comparable to those of emperors and monarchs, imitating the artistic conception of giant eyes, which is naturally more terrifying. It is only natural that such a being can easily and completely kill the three kings of the Shi kingdom. Luo Feng said, let's go. Sitting mountain guest looked at his disciple and nodded slightly. He was in agitated mood at the moment. On the one hand, he had waited for too long for revenge, and on the other hand, his disciple had exceeded his imagination. You must know that the earth has passed through sitting mountain guest transform the environment and then cultivate humans on earth. Luo Feng is naturally like the child he trained. He has practiced step by step until now, guided step by the Star Tower, 9 Tribulations Secret Code, and the Yuan Technique. He watched Luo Feng grow up, but now he can't understand him. In this regard, the mountaineer also felt gratified. Wow! There was a golden liquid flowing on the surface of the mountain guest, and his aura completely disappeared strangely. As the golden liquid flowed, the mountain guest changed into what he looked like in the original universe. This is the golden armored puppet I refined. It barely has the strength of a god king. Sitting mountain guest said, my true body is hidden inside the puppet, and the puppet shown outside does not have any life breath. Luo Feng nodded, generally more powerful. All god kings have ways to hide their aura, such as when they go to the dream realm, they will hide their identity. It's just that Master Zhuoshan's hiding method is quite special. Walking around in a puppet body, his true body is completely hidden. Teacher's weapon refining skills are indeed powerful. Let's set off now. Luo Feng immediately took the mountain guest and quietly left Huyang City, and in the blink of an eye, they arrived at the capital of the King of Food. Above the capital city of the Kingdom of Food, Luo Feng and the mountain-sitting guest looked down at the vast city. Luo Feng was puzzled. What's wrong? The mountain-sitting guest was confused. The true body of the Lord Qiankuan is not in the capital, Luo Feng frowned and said. This time, Luo Feng came with the true body of the world life form, and also carried the secret treasure, Star Tower. The true body of the world life form, with the lotus of life within its inner world, was naturally incredibly powerful. It could reflect the outside world and even absorb vast areas of the outside world into its inner world, imprisoning them within. Using the perception of the inner world to the outside, Luo Feng could confirm that there were no sufficiently powerful beings in the entire capital, only a skeletal God King avatar. Moreover, the Star Tower can also contain enemies, suppress them, and block them. Luo Feng used the Star Tower to sense the surroundings, but he also didn't notice any powerful aura. To Luo Feng, the ordinary God King was no longer powerful. Ancestor Wuxiang, ancestor of the Sword Demon, my clones have locked onto both of them, and I can take action at any time. Luo Feng said, but the Lord Qiankuan cannot determine the location for the time being. Then what should I do? What if he enters a certain place? You may stay in a precious place for a long time to practice, said mountain guest. Luo Feng shook his head. I have been ordering information on some of the top powerhouses in the origin continent for a long time, and I have also been ordering information on the leader of the Qiankuan kingdom for a long time. According to the information given to me by the Yangfeng Guild Hall, since the last time the real body of the Lord Qiankuan was destroyed, after regaining his true form with the help of the resurrection carrier, he has been nurturing the Hunyuan bloodline. During the period of nurturing the Hunyuan bloodline, he has not been to any treasured places. Sitting Mountain Guest nodded. As long as he doesn't go to the treasure land, he will come back eventually, and we will wait in the capital. Luo Feng said. That's all. Mountain Guest nodded. Yangfeng ancient country, Yangdu. Di Yang sat there, tasting the food in front of him, and praised, Qiankuan, when it comes to food, there are only a handful of people in origin continent who can rival you. Your understanding of ingredients is unique and you can discover the wonderful taste of the ingredients themselves. With all kinds of top-notch ingredients prepared by the Emperor, I can make these delicacies. Lord Qiankuan smiled at the side, quite humble, and these ingredients have also improved my understanding of Hunyuan bloodline and my cultivation. I can also gain some benefits. I have to thank the Emperor for giving me this opportunity. Di Yang glanced at the Lord Qiankuan. He likes King Qiankuan very much and is very well behaved. He tries his best to coax him. The most important thing is, the food made by King Qiankuan is very suitable for Di Yang's taste. The leader of Qiankuan Kingdom is following the path of the origin of matter, studying various substances in the world and even discovering delicious food to an incredible extent. After practicing the Hunyuan bloodline, he even tried the flesh and blood of the Hunyuan bloodline as ingredients, and the food was even more shocking. The royal family of the Yangfeng ancient kingdom liked this kind of luxury very much. After all, the superb delicacies originating from the mainland can be regarded as the realm of God King in terms of food alone. It also made Lord Qiankuan make friends with many royal and God Kings. You've been cooking delicious food for me for a long time. Tell me if you need my help with anything. Di Yang looked at Qiankuan with a smile. Qiankuan has a good habit of never raising any conditions when serving Di Yang. Instead, he kept serving him faithfully and waited until Di Yang took the initiative to ask one day before Qiankuan would speak. The Emperor also knows that there are some difficult forces surrounding our Shigua. Lord Qiankuan said with a smile. The Lord of Yushui Kingdom of Yu Kingdom has formed an alliance with God King Luohe of Huyang City again. Now our food country can only attack another second-rate country next door, Hansen Kingdom. The leader of Hansen Kingdom is an ordinary second-level God King, inferior to me. But the relationship between Hansen country and Qianmu country is extraordinary. The food country invaded the surrounding areas, and those who were easy to invade had already been invaded. The only neighboring countries are Yu State and Hansen State. Yugua seems to be easy to bully, but who wants Luo Feng to show up? Luo Feng has now reached the second level of the God King, and the Food Kingdom has completely given up his thoughts. The leader of the Qiankuan Kingdom is suspicious. If Luo Feng's 10 clones join forces, he probably won't be able to fight. Hansen Kingdom? Di Yang nodded. Let's go back and prepare when everything is ready. I will send God King Yanxiu to go with you. With God King Yanxiu involved, I believe Qianmu Kingdom will not dare to interfere again. As the first emperor of the Yangfeng ancient kingdom, Di Yang also has a relatively large number of powerful people. In addition to Di Yang, there are only 2 people in the second level of the royal God King, namely, Dian Xiu and Dian Xiu. Emperor Yanxiu, with greater ambitions, used the chaotic source blood pulse at the ultimate level to attack, bringing the Lord, but his strength was inferior and he was in a semi-out-of-control state. Now he is imprisoned in a small world and must use formations to stay awake. According to Yangfeng, according to the rules of the ancient country, he will not be released unless he is absolutely awake. If he was born in the ancient Thunder Kingdom, a semi-out-of-control existence can be released during the awakening stage, and he will be imprisoned when he loses control. Di Yanxiu, with a supply of many resources, is the strongest royal God King under Di Yang. With God King Yanxiu coming forward, no matter how bold Qianmu Kingdom is, they have to endure it. The leader of Qiankuan Kingdom was overjoyed. Emperor Yang nodded slightly. Lord Qianquan left the Yangfeng ancient kingdom and returned to the food kingdom. It would be nice to have Divine King Yanxiu help. Lord Qianquan was very satisfied with this harvest. He had served Di Yang for too long and knew Di Yang's temper very well. He is currently nourishing the Han Yuan bloodline in his body. If he asks for the treasure that nourishes the bloodline, Di Yang may turn against him. Who? Lord Qianquan returned to the capital leisurely. In an ordinary cave in the royal capital, Luo Feng and Zhuo Shanku sat opposite each other and talked leisurely about the art of weapon refining. Huh? Luo Feng's expression changed. The mountain guest looked at Luo Feng. The Lord Qianquan is back, Luo Feng said. The mountain guest's eyes lit up. This video will end here.